Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cameron Sykes doing another segment of My Mind Mondays. And as y'all can see, I actually invested myself into something. Actually got me a little mic right here. And I'm not going to actually talk about that. I will talk about that in another segment of My Mind Mondays. But I want to actually talk about something that been transpiring with me for over the past few weeks. And actually some things that I actually been thinking about. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. But I don't want to share everything that's going on. But I also do want to share a few quotes from either movies or speeches that I actually did here. And so basically, like I said, I've been talking about something that I've been going through over the past few weeks, and I'm not gonna go into details about it. But basically, like it's been basically things going on with that's involving money and my happiness. And in a way, I'm choosing my happiness. And like I said, I wanted to go start off with a quote. And the quote that I actually want to start off is, if you don't know the movie Players Club, and you know Lisa Ray, she played as Diamond, and she was just talking to her cousin. She was like, "Make the money, don't let the money make you." And that's basically what I want to talk about, is making the money, not letting the money make you. So basically what that just means to me, first of all, I just feel like what that means to me is, when you make when you're making money, you either gonna get blinded by it, or you're not gonna be blinded by it. If you're gonna be caught up with the results of what the money makes for you, or you're gonna be caught up with just making the money yourself and doing what you have to do. And that was just the same way what occurred with Diamond. And then how that relates to my life is, I'm in current a situation where it's either I just make the money and I sacrifice my happiness, or I sacrifice my happiness just to make the money. And I'm actually choosing the opposite route. And I could just recall like being at Chuan University, and this professor, if she was actually on my social media, she probably wouldn't like what I'm about to say, but it's actually a lot of truth to it, because as a kid I was taught that money brings you happiness, and as I'm getting older I'm starting not to realize that. So like I said, at Chuan, how I actually came upon my major, being an accounting major, was like I did like numbers, I did like doing math equations and things like that, but as far as like accounting, I didn't know nothing about it. I wasn't familiar with it. But what sold me was, you would think it would be the numbers, but it was actually the fact that she told me that in the business field, accountants make like the second highest next to IT. I was sold right then and there. But it's going into my junior year and then into my senior year, I was finding out like, man, I don't really like this accounting stuff that much. I'm actually just doing it just to get a degree and just to get the money. And so I actually did have a job opportunity with the federal government for accounting. It was actually in my one of the cities that like I would have probably considered moving to, because it was actually where my favorite football team is at, in Landover, Maryland. And I had the opportunity to do it, and it was with a minority company. And the thing of it is about it, y'all, is I actually ended up turning it down. And I had the opportunity, like the guy really wanted me and everything, but basically what transpired was I just didn't like accounting. That's point blank simple as that. And even my career choice today, like I've looked at a few accounting jobs, but as far as I just wasn't fond of accounting. It was it wasn't making me happy. Like the money was could have possibly be there, but when it came down to it, my happiness wasn't there. And unfortunately, I don't look for no accounting jobs, and I don't plan on looking for none. But like I said, how it's related to my day to day life is just that, like, even now, like I'm put in a situation where the money is great. As great if it is, I'm not choosing that. And I just feel like as people, as individuals as a whole, that we have a tendency for choosing money over our happiness. Like I said, as a kid, I was taught, if you make enough money, you'll be happy. That's not necessarily the case. And I just feel like when we place value upon things like happiness, which you cannot, like, there's no such thing as a way of how to measure your happiness. But when we try to measure things so much as a society, we have a tendency for forgetting about how happy we are, and how just being comfortable in your own setting and just enjoying your life and being proud of the situations you're at is important, instead of how much money do you have, how big is your TV, how many cars are in your house. Why are those number things and the things that are value upon money is necessary to the ultimate goal of being happy? Because I could just remember times where I didn't have much and I was more happier, whereas times now where sometimes I have to find happiness in just the fact that I've achieved goals, because the happiness of how much money I'm making does not value the same way. And just another quote, like I said, I was gonna quote some few things. Inky Johnson, for instance, he said that there was a time period where he was one of the top speakers, and AD, athletic director, if you don't know, and a football coach. They said they felt like he was the thing that the kids needed just to give them that extra boost on the football field. And they said, "Hey, write down your number. You can do whatever you want to." And he went and he said, "All right, let me think on it." And he said he couldn't find an ounce of peace. Why couldn't he find an ounce of peace if that was all the money he could possibly ask for? At least, not, I'm not gonna say all the money, but a number where he wanted to, where he could have state whatever he wanted to a high certain degree, and he had as much cliche as he wanted to in that certain deal. But he didn't choose that route. And just thinking about it, he didn't find peace in that. Like you, you don't always find peace in how much money you make. And that's what I'm just trying to just get to y'all is like, don't make decisions based upon money all the time. If you do, you're not gonna always be as happy. And just search for happiness, because you can't measure that. Search for the things you can't measure: happiness, joy, love, things that's in the mind, things that's in the body, things that's in the soul. And that's what will be the true happiness. Because if you do something that only makes you a few dollars now, yeah, you're gonna have your good days and your bad days, but at some point you're gonna have those days where you're gonna find joy and happiness, and eventually it's just gonna add up to that ultimate. You're just gonna get the financial gains that you want. That's why I say search for your dream and your goals, because and your gift, because at the end of the day, only thing that matters is your happiness, not how much money you have in your pockets. Because as we see in the government now, there's millionaires that are miserable. So, what makes a person that makes $1,000 compared to a person that makes $1,000,000 less happy? Is what's in your heart. So search for your happiness instead of search for your dollar signs. And that's all I have to say for this segment of My Mondays.